Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's the day after the last video that I put out, so that would be the bulkhead is in primer. So today, yes, the bulkhead is still in primer and it's going to be in more primer, but at least I thought I'd film it for you today.
Oh dear.
Oh, fire. You don't need a special tool, you need a special tin. Okay, so it's obviously day after I've posted up the other video. I got home. It's not quite as warm and bright today, but it is still sort of 14-15 degrees. And so I thought I would take the covers back off and just get a light keying up, sand off any lumps or runs in the paint that I put on yesterday. And then I found something. Let me show you. Okay, so if you look down here, there was a little tiny hole. And I thought, oh, that's not so good. You see, I've put the rust killer on it now, but there was just a little tiny rust patch here that I hadn't picked up on. Maybe it's just where the bad lighting was and fatigue yesterday. But there was a little tiny hole there, so I've given it some splats of weld and some rust killer and sealed that up. And also up here, and here, and these two here. That's the washer bottle I've got mounted underneath the dashboard. That's where I initially had it, and it was right in the way of your feet. So the rivets were still there. I thought, you know, opportune moment, got welder in hand, lose them. That was an earth point inside. So again, I thought, right, quick opportune moment, pop the rivet out of there, weld it up. This I was going to weld up, and then I found that actually it's solid sealed in there. That was something was bolted into the inner wing here. So and yeah, I know it's ugly out here. Don't judge me. It's really ugly, but seam sealer, and we're never going to have to worry about that again. There's a little edge I've put on here so that I could have somewhere to earth the earthing strap. And then I proceeded, oh yeah, this is, again, there wasn't a hole. It looks uglier than it actually needs to. It was just a very proud weld, and I thought, well, you know, I missed that, so I flapped that back to being a bit smarter and also under there. So then I went over the whole thing with a selection of different sandpapers, taking off any runs, high spots, and bits and bobs like that. It's sort of really hard to sort of see, quite a resident fly. But yeah, that's where it's kind of got to. I've sanded absolutely everything. And so now I'm going to apply a little bit more paint. Okay, for a while there you'll have obviously seen I just tidied the mess up, and I was darting in and out the car, and I realised on the time lapse you can't actually really see what I was doing, so just quickly show you. So when I was putting the paint around yesterday, it occurred to me that these holes were actually open, so I've just dived inside under the bulkhead and I've just put some masking tape up. I've obviously done these ones on here because I'm not painting this outside bit yet, I'm only painting the underside. But I've done them, I've plugged those ones and these ones here. I'm not worried about the steering rack holes, to be honest. They're so small and the holes are so far away, and there's a little mat over them inside anyway, so that won't really matter. And I did where the pedals come through the bulkhead as well. So the only one I can't really get to is here, but I'll be honest, it's not going to end up in the car as such, and a little bit of paint in there is not really going to hurt. So yeah, so the thought behind that is, if I zoom out, my plan is to sort of paint up underneath here first. So there was a sticker here I've spotted, so obviously again rough this back to, or key it up a little bit, but yeah, I want to paint up and underneath here as best I can to start with, and shoot some more paint off into those corners, which I know there's a load in there anyway because I kind of painted in there before I did it. But yeah, shoot some off up high, bring it down low to do this front section here. I'll go down the middle and then I'll do the two sides. Yeah, and I've got a little toy to do that I didn't have yesterday. I might even mask the screen up looking at it now, because the screen's looking pretty bad. It's not the screen I'm going to use, because it already had a lot of, should we say, rust on it, where things have been angle grind and it hit the glass and it melts its way into the glass. There's not really any way to get that out, so I knew it was a screen that was going to need to be replaced anyway. And it's a Lamiglass, an older one, from an 80s car if I remember rightly. But I'd rather fit a heated one in there, and then I haven't got to worry about demister. So yeah, I'm not so worried. I might mask it up just a little bit, just to stop having to wipe the paint off again. But we'll see if the mood takes me or not. But right, let me show you this little gizmo. So yeah, I was in the local Halfords today. Obviously everyone's going to go, no, don't use Halfords, it's crap. It's local, available, and on my way to and from work, and they keep it fairly well stocked, to be honest, the Basildon one. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to be putting more of this on, but also I spotted this amongst the stuff. So you put your spray can in there and how good is that? My finger kept getting tired yesterday. Yeah, I like that. We'll give it a go, see what it's like. Okay, there you go, that was it painted, and you'll see that in a second. What I'd like to mention quickly is the spray gun. It was okay. It doesn't push the nozzle down quite as far as I would do. It, you know, it gets enough to get some spray out, which means it doesn't quite blow the paint quite far enough, which means it tends to pool and dribble. And what it was doing is pooling and dribbling around this very front edge here, and then you get little bits spitting off, if that makes any sense. I'll show you what I mean just here. So those little bits that were pooling, you'd get little tiny bits of paint just flecking off. You know, it's not the end of the world. They're not going to really, you know, there's a bit more over here, and I realised what was going on, so I cleaned wiped the nozzle down every now and again, and it seemed to be okay. But yeah, it's gone on okay. All this stuff over here, one little run just here. It's not the end of the world. It is a bit chilly today to really be doing this, but I'll take it. Yeah, quite pleased with how that's gone. Up underneath here is all nice and sealed up, and even down here it's all nicely primed. Now I know this is this stuff will absorb moisture, so before putting the final paint on, it is, yeah, I've been told by several people now that it's a good idea to make sure the paint is warm for a period of time to let any moisture that's got into the primer then get out. But yeah, it'll be a little while before I can do that. I reckon it's probably going to be another month or so before I can get any further with paint, because this is our last good day of weather. It's going to rain again tomorrow, so I wanted to get this done today. So yeah, that's one coat. With any luck, it depends what the wind's doing. It's a bit too windy to do this today, but I should be able to get out again maybe this evening if it's not raining, after the kids have had swimming lessons, because, you know, parent duties. But once they've had their swimming lessons, I can get back out. I can maybe get one more coat of this over all the important areas that you don't really want to have rust forming, and then I can let it sit for a bit, because after this, in my head, I've probably got seam sealer, then we're on to stuff like the high build primer to kind of get all the scratches and stuff out, because that haven't already come out with this. But as far as it goes, I mean, it's actually a really nice, so there's a few little scratches visible in here, and a few down here, but after sort of like a couple of coats of this, and then obviously I've sanded back quite a lot of it, and then I've given it another coat, it's come up okay. Oh, the sun's coming out. The sun's going to bake it for me. How very kind. So yeah, this thing, if I can get my hand position better. So yeah, doesn't quite go down enough, but I can modify that. Put a cable tie around it probably would be sufficient to push the nozzle down far enough, so I'll give it another go. But it'll save my finger. My finger was killing me yesterday by the time you go, psh, let go, psh, let go, psh, 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 psh. So yeah, probably worth it. Does require modification for it to be good. Okay, gonna leave it there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, whenever that happens to be. I'm going to try and get onto these a bit more frequently because weather's improving and I really want to get this car on its wheels. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.